Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Ever since Vince McMahon stepped away from WWE, Triple H has been in charge of all creative decisions regarding the product. He has been serving as the promotion's chief content officer since September 2022 and has been at the heart of major WWE decisions as well. Ex-WWE employee Vince Russo claims that Triple H is trying to put himself in everything. Under his creative leadership, the promotion has seen some major decisions take place, such as cutting down some PLEs like the Hell in a Cell and TLC, and the recent decision to take WrestleMania 43 to Saudi Arabia. Russo was speaking on an episode of Bro Down on Sportskeeda WrestleBinge, where he responded to a fan comment stating that Triple H is the king of politics. Russo agreed with the statement, stating that the game puts himself into everything because he's trying to become indispensable to TKO. During his tenure as WWE's CCO, Triple H has brought back some former PLEs to the main roster and has also overseen the return of several stars to the promotion. Under his leadership, both CM Punk and AJ Lee returned to the company after spending almost a decade away from the company. It seemed like the two would never put a foot back in the company, but the game made it happen. Faves is a WWE writer at Sportskeeda Wrestling. He is a BBA graduate who is passionate about sports and wants to make a career in that field. This passion led to a postgraduate degree in journalism, which helped him pivot into becoming a sports writer. When writing, he puts the utmost importance on accuracy and thorough research. Faze has 6 years of work experience across 4 companies. He started his career with Zomato and then moved to Amazon. He shifted to becoming a football writer at TV9 Digital and is now with Sportskeeda. He covered the Wrestling Extreme Mania event in Gurgaon in 2025, where he had the opportunity to interview Raj the Maharaja, Fab Jinder Mahal. At the same event, he also got quick interviews with former WWE superstar Dijak and Japanese Joshi legend Emi Sakura. When it comes to his favorite wrestlers, Faze has 2 names in mind. He loved to watch Triple H before the current WWE CCO retired, and he is a huge fan of Roman Reigns. Being a loyal fan since the Tribal Chief's Shield days, Faze credits Roman's mic skills and unmatched in-ring storytelling for his mega success. When he was young, one in-ring story left a lasting impression on his mind, and eventually got him hooked on WWE. That match was Shawn Michaels vs. Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24. Apart from that, he is also a fan of Raw. When Faze is not writing for Sportskeeda, he loves to keep up with other sports. He is an avid cricket and football fan, a huge gamer, and loves playing some RPGs on the PlayStation. I worked in WWE for several years, creative, behind the scenes, and the thing people rarely say out loud, but everybody feels, is Triple H is putting himself all over because he's trying to own the narrative. Sometimes that's made with intention, sometimes out of insecurity, often a mix. Here's how I see it, from being in the room. Since Vince McMahon stepped away, initially in 2022, then more fully around 2024, Triple H, Paul Levesque, has gradually assumed far more responsibility for WWE's creative direction. He's no longer just a performer who sometimes shows up on screen. He's the chief content officer. People expect him to lead. But leadership in pro wrestling doesn't just happen in meeting rooms, it shows up on camera. He uses the term new era a lot, for Raw debuts, for big shows, for Netflix launches. It's his way of signaling that with me at the reins, things are different. But when everything gets billed as a new era, the phrase loses impact. Stevie Richards and others have noted that. He often is part of major storylines, even when he can't wrestle. When medical issues limit what a guy can do physically, WWE doesn't entirely write him out. They find ways to keep him involved. People behind the curtain see this and say, okay, maybe he can't main event wrestling matches, but he's still going to be in the mix. That means he's putting himself over by presence. So part of it is, he wants to cement his era. Be visible. Be seen. Be heard. If you're the boss, you want that stamp. From what I saw and heard, Triple H isn't just a figurehead. He's incredibly hands-on. He's had a long career from the ground up. Athlete, performer, into creative, into executive. He's seen all sides. What works, what doesn't, what fans respond to, what bombs. That gives him confidence, and sometimes need, to be involved, not just in backstage meetings but in the storytelling. There are reports that in writers' rooms, he sits at the head of the table. People pitch him, they want to get his approval. That dynamic often leads writers to shape things in a way that feature him, or at least make sure his role is significant. Critics like Vince Russo have openly said that the formal setup, writers in suits, pitches feeding toward what Triple H will like, stifles some off-the-cuff creativity. The legacy build means there's a lot personal pride. He doesn't want to just manage WWE. He wants for WWE under him to be unambiguously better, different, to be seen as fresh, powerful, relevant. That drive can lead to wanting proximity to big moments, payoffs, entrances, promos, angles, even if in-ring participation is limited. So his presence everywhere is partly because he believes that he has earned not just the authority, but the creative responsibility. And because he cares deeply how people see the product under his leadership. This is speculative, what people talk about in whispers, but there's always a shadow side to being near the top. Triple H once was one of the top names in the business. Now, role changes, health, age, responsibility mean he has less ability to carry entire match work physically. The question becomes, if I don't show up in big moments, will people remember me, or just my regime? Critics say there's a risk of overexposure. If everything you do is "this is Triple H storyline," then some storylines feel less meaningful. For example, when a match or promo features him but can't deliver physically because of his medical condition, you get build up with no physical payoff. It can feel hollow. People like Stevie Richards have pointed that out. Also, there's the flip side. What if fans say, "Oh, this is just about Triple H again," or they're trying to elevate him again at the expense of others? That creates tension backstage and criticism outside. Some ex-WWE employees believe that after Vince left, Triple H is almost compensating, trying to show that yes, I'm capable, I can steer things, I deserve this. In WWE, if you're not in the story, you increasingly become invisible. And if you're invisible, you lose influence. So one of the basic rules backstage is, be part of big stories. As chief creative, his job is to define big stories. But that doesn't always mean others only. He often mediates, shapes, sometimes inserts himself, because that automatically gives weight and relevance to the storyline. There's also the aspect of the hierarchy. The person in charge tends to have their fingerprints all over everything. People look to Triple H now to make calls. If he doesn't show up on camera or in important segments, then questions get asked. Was this a Triple H era show or a transitional limp show? There's pressure from both within and without. Putting yourself everywhere is a risk. It can signal leadership, presence, vision, but it can also lead to overcrowding, diminishing returns, fan fatigue, overuse of buzzwords or framing, new era, the change, etc., which can become cliché if deployed in nearly every event. It becomes less of a meaningful signal and more just noise. When Triple H is deeply involved in angles that go nowhere physically, promos or beatings without payoff, people feel baited. If you build up his involvement in, say, a conflict with Cody Rhodes or Kevin Owens, but can't finish strongly because he can't wrestle or because story mechanics limit what he can do, then fans get frustrated. Critics say it damages the credibility of both the story and the wrestler he is supposed to be opposing. Also, talk behind the scenes. Some performers believe that having Triple H so central can limit their own opportunities. If many main event storylines require his presence, there are fewer openings for others. That can breed backstage tension. From listening and seeing what people inside suggest, there are ways WWE could maintain leadership presence without overexposure. Letting other stars carry main storyline weight, and having Triple H appear occasionally, more as an overseer or adversary, rather than always being part of the fabric of every show. That builds contrast, his involvement becomes more special. making the narrative more distributed. Instead of framing everything as Triple H new era, giving more era moments to others, boosting other voices, so the audience feels multiple pillars, not just one central figure. Ensuring when he is involved, the payoff is meaningful, physical, emotional, storyline resolution, so it doesn't feel like lip service or cameo spotlighting. Putting myself in his shoes, here's what I see. Triple H wants to both prove and protect. Prove that he is legitimately the creative voice post-Vince McMahon. Protect the brand he's been part of for decades, and protect his own legacy. So when you combine his position, his history, his beliefs about what makes wrestling great, story, atmosphere, character, with fears of being overshadowed, of falling behind, or becoming irrelevant, what you get is someone deeply involved, sometimes maybe too involved, in many storylines. Someone who wants so much that the product reflects his vision, his stamp. Sometimes that works well. Other times I think it backfires. The product feels cluttered, the meaning of his appearances gets diluted, and fans are left wondering, who else matters here?